Hey, what's up everyone? Danny Lightning back with another CSR2 video. So, it's early 2021, and I'm going to go over my favorite live racing cars in the game that I own. Right now, there's over 600 some cars, so I can't go over every single car in the game. That would take hours, but I'm going to show you my favorite cars, alright? My very favorite live racing cars that I own and that I've had a lot of experience driving. I've got a lot of time on these. I know these cars very well. The Toyota GR Supra, this thing is amazing. All right, I got an awesome stage 4 setup for this. Stage 5 and stage 6 works well, but I suggest the stage 4 setup. I have a video all about that. This car is awesome, guys. This car is awesome. All right, next we have the Harkness Sesto Elemento, one of my favorite cars in the game. It's a dyno destroyer. I mean, this thing is so good. A little bit tricky to drive, but man, this car is awesome. This is the one boss car in the game you don't want to miss. If you did happen to miss it, well, you know, there's other really awesome cars, but if you can get this one, it's amazing. All right. The launch is really weird, but once you get the launch down, amazing car. Amazing car. All right, the Bugatti Bullied. This is one of the few paid cars I have, but this is set up really weird. It's only got some stage 3 and stage 4 parts on it. So the PP is kind of low and the Evo points are kind of high. All right, it's got over 1,000 Evo with kind of lower performance points. And the way this is currently set up, it just destroys in live racing. All right, I guess maxed out, this car is not very good, but there are some cars we can do these low performance point high Evo setups where they just destroy. Currently that Supra is kind of on one of those as well. All right, that's why I said it's on stage 4. It just rocks. But yeah, love this car. Not great maxed out, but you know, if you have this guy, maybe try some weird stage 3 and stage 4 tunes and see what you can get out of it, because mine's rocking it up with only a few parts installed. All right, next we've got the Lamborghini LB Aventador Coupe. This thing is a really cool live racer, very easy to drive. Again, a lot of the Lamborghinis are a little bit weird on the launch, but besides that, this car is pretty awesome. All right, the Chevrolet Copa Camaro. This car beats dyno by a decent amount. It's extremely easy to drive. I really enjoy live racing this one. Not one of my very favorites, but I do like this and I do enjoy this one a lot. Mustang Cobra Jet. This is mainly something I use for swapping. Same thing with the Copa Camaro. I don't usually go in trying to win. Both of these cars are maxed out. This guy runs I think it's a 6.9 or maybe a 7.0. And the Copa Camaro runs a 7.2. Usually when you're in those really fast lobbies, most people just want to swap where you trade wins back and forth, which is a really easy way to get RP, but those are two of my favorite swapping cars, okay? I don't usually go in and try and win every live race with these two like I do the other ones I just showed you, but I do love to swap with the Copa Camaro and the Mustang Cobra Jet. They're both very fast, they get into the Hypermax lobby, and very cool. This one's a little tricky to drive though. The Bugatti Cento, that's what I like to call this guy. Now, this is one of those cars where you can set it down to stage 4 and it will destroy everybody in live racing. I don't even have to retune it for that. Like right now, mine's maxed out, and all I got to do is put it down to stage 4. I leave the same tune and it just destroys everything, okay? But it is a major dyno buster with the right tune and the right setup. Love this guy on stage 4, honestly. All right, the Porsche 911 RWB. Now, this car is maxed out. It does extremely well for live racing, but before I had it maxed when it was stage 5 with a couple stage 6 parts, not so much. This car really started to perform great for live once it got maxed out or really close to it. It's got to be really highly upgraded, I've noticed for some reason, but I didn't really have any luck with winning live races until I maxed it out. So after I maxed it, it's just destroying people in live. So if you can max this thing out, totally worth live racing. If you can't, well, you know what, give it a try. see how it works for you. But yeah. All right, next we got the Ferrari Portofino. I had some really good luck with this guy. I don't drive it very often. I don't really like the car. I don't know. It's just kind of a not really a coolest looking car in the game, but man, I'll tell you what, every time I take this out on the live racing track, it tears some people up. It really does. This is a great live racer. Alright, the Garrett Road Shop Barracuda Hemi S. Now, initially, I wasn't loving this, but if I take the final drive and I move it all the way over to the left, this car starts winning live races like crazy. So, with a little bit of a tweak on the tune, this car becomes an amazing live racer. But with my normal tune to get the fastest time out of it, not so much. It did really, really bad, but yeah. Small twink to the transmission, it's a live racing beast. The Porsche 959 SC Tier 4 dyno destroying monster. This guy rips everybody apart in live racing. Alright. This thing's nuts. This thing is nuts in live, okay? Dyno destroying live racing monster, guys. Love it. Love it, okay? It will get pushed into the other lobbies pretty quick, so you might have to reset these cars. The dyno beaters do get pushed into other lobbies really fast, and then you always have to reset the things, which is a little bit of a pain, but these things are amazing. Alright, the Subaru WRX STI. This is another car that I just got for free. I love this thing on stage 5. I don't have any stage 6 parts on it, but on stage 5 it runs around a 12.0. For some reason, tier 4 cars in the 12.0 range seem to do amazing for live racing. I don't know what it is about 12.0 and tier 4 cars, but they seem to love that lobby. Alright, now this is a car where when I take it into live racing, I don't hit my nitrous, I don't even shift it properly, and it lost several races and then it started winning every race. Okay, so this is one of those weird cars where you can kind of get it to beat dyno or win live races without beating dyno time. Not every car can do that. You do have to lose a few to make it happen. So run slower than your dyno just a little bit, but if you run just a little slower than your dyno with this car on stage 5, it will lose probably 10-15 races, but after that it'll start winning pretty much every race. So this is another one of those kind of weird cars that do well without beating the dyno time if you tune it and set it up right. Alright, so we got the Ford Escort Mark II RS 1600. This one is so good, it's a giant dyno buster. I got mine set on stage 4. Man, people refuse to race this because they know it's going to destroy them. Then we got the Ferrari F40. Another amazing live racing car, destroys dyno. A lot of people will refuse to race this one as well because they know it's just going to beat the crap out of them. Next, Mustang HPE 750. Another one of my favorites. Love this guy. This thing is just plain out awesome. Alright, next we got the LB NSX. This is a great live racer. Love this little guy right here. Then we got the regular NSX. This isn't one of the very best live racers in the game, but it's like a step down. It's like one step below all the other ones I've showed you. Let's just say the cars I've showed you so far were like a 10 on the live racing scale. This one's like an 8 or a 9. So not as good, but still amazing, okay? The Endgain NSX. This one seems to do extremely good at live racing as well. I don't have too many live races under my belt with this one, but when I first got it, I set it up, I took it in there, and it was destroying people on the live racing, okay? I haven't driven it too much. I like a lot of my other cars better, but if you have one of these, it's a very good live racer. So we got the RX7 Easter Bunny. This thing is amazing. Love it. Next, we got the regular RX7 Rocket Bunny. Now, this one sucks until you take the tires and pull them down to 8 psi. You lose a lot of your Evo points when you do that, but it will start winning live races. It's still over 1,000 Evos, so it's all good, okay? As long as you have enough parts in this car is a beast on the live racing track. But you do have to set the tires to 8 psi. If you set the tires to the fastest time, not so good, okay? Not so good. All right, we got the Nissan Juke R2.0. This guy does not beat dyno time at all, but it's a live racing beast. It wins probably, I'd say, 70 to 80% of every live race. This is actually one of my favorite little tier 4 cars, just because you don't have to do anything special to this one. You don't have to tune it weird. You just put your parts on it, you take it out to the live racing track, and it just starts winning. This is a great little car, guys. If you got this and you want to win the majority of your live races, you know what? It may be ugly, it may be weird looking, but it's totally worth upgrading. Love that little guy, okay? Alright, so the Rocket Bunny 350Z Z33. This one's a pretty good live racing car. When I first got this, I tried it out, took it out onto the track. It was doing really well. I don't think it was one of the very best live racers I've used, but I liked it, okay? This was some sort of prize car. I can't remember what event I won this from, but you know, it was cool. It's cool. I like it. Not one of my very favorites, but it does the job. Next, the Nissan GTR Nismo R35N attack package. This is not to be confused with the Boss Nissan, okay? The KJ's Nissan looks exactly like this, but KJ's is a piece of junk, and this is an amazing machine right here. So do not confuse the Boss car with this one. Even though they look exactly the same, they are very different cars. All right, the GTR N attack package is probably the best GTR in the game, in my opinion. Awesome live racer, beats all the Tempest races. This car is just plain amazing. The 2014 RLB R8 V10 Coupe. This little guy does okay on live racing. Not one of my favorites, okay? Not one of my favorites to take on the live racing track, but if you got this guy and it's got some upgrades on it, you might want to try it out. It's a pretty decent live racing car, guys. Pretty decent. Nothing too special, but it will win you some live races. Probably not every live race, but you'll win a few. Not too bad. Not a bad car at all, actually. Alright, the Silvia S15 Rocket Bunny. This car does not beat dyno time. It's a lot like the Juke. It's a lot like the Juke. You throw your parts on it. It doesn't beat dyno, but for some reason, it still wins the majority of the live races. There are some cars that will destroy this, okay? So you kind of got to learn which cars to race and which car not to race, but I can take this into a live racing session and probably win about 80% of the live races, as long as I avoid racing some of the really high-end live racing cars, okay? If I take this against a Ferrari F40, it's going to smash me, all right? If I take this against something else, well, hey, I've got a pretty good chance. So this is a really nice car. I'd give this one like maybe an 8 out of a 10 on the live racing scale. Now, I've got the 911 Carrera S4 Cabriolet in my live racing garage, and I'm not really sure why. I'm guessing this must have been a really good live racing car, but I just don't remember. But it's in with all my favorite live racers, so it must be pretty cool. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one, but that one might be good. Alright, so now we got a tier 2 car, guys. Check this out. 718 Porsche Boxster. Alright, with a stock engine and a stage 5 transmission, everything else maxed out, this car is amazing. For some reason, if you upgrade the engine on this car, it slows it down. And if you install the stage 6 transmission, it slows it down. So engines always stock, and never install the stage 6 transmission on this car. But for a little tier 2 car, this is a live racing beast. For the first probably year I played this game, this was my go-to live racing car. Earned me a lot of RP. Love this little guy. Next, we got Amelia's LB M4 Coupe. These little M4s can be really nice live racing cars for tier 3. Definitely not one of the best live racers in the game, but for a tier 3 car, it gets on it. It gets on it. Next, we have the John Cooper Works GP. This little car did pretty nice for a tier 2 car. It's got high Evo, 3 stars. Not too bad, okay? I really enjoyed live racing this. It did seem to win the majority of the live races. Next, this is a sweet little car. The Mazda Rocket Bunny MX-5 Miata. This little dude does awesome. Love this little guy. I still think I prefer the Boxster over this, but this is a nice little live racer if you have one. It's got high evo, it's got 3 stars, which is great for a tier 2 car, so this one will earn you some nice points in live racing if you have it. Looks like I actually got some points some parts I can throw into this one, but I'm just going to leave it for now. I guess this one will beat Tempest really easily. Tempest 1, 2, and 3, no problem. I think you don't even need stage 6 parts or something like that. Or you might only need 1 or 2. I can't remember, but this is an excellent little car overall. Alright, Finn's Exige 360 Cup. This is one of the boss cars. I like this little car a lot, okay? Very good little live racer. It's got 3 purple stars, over 1,000 Evo. Awesome little tier 2 car. Now, a lot of people will tell you this car is total crap. Well, it doesn't have very high Evo points. It's plus 687, pretty much maxed out. I think this is missing like 2 or 3 fusions, but it wins live races pretty easy. It's fun to drive. It looks nice. I really like this little car. It's not one of the best tier 2 cars in the game to live race, but you know, it's one of the first boss cars we win. If you can get the Toyota parts for it, hey, it's not that bad, honestly. It's not that bad at all. I kind of like this little guy. Alright, I'd much rather drive something else over this, but hey, if you don't have anything else for tier 2 and you want to do some live racing, it'll win you a few live races. Next, we got the Golf GTI Rocket Bunny. This little dude's sweet. I love this car. I hate these rims though. I hate these rims, but I love this car, okay? This is a little live racing monster. It's got over 1,000 Evo points, 3 stars. It's only tier 2. If you got one of these, you might want to think about upgrading it if you don't have a good live racing car yet. Now, the next 2 are boss cars. You have to win these, but Sneak's Focus Trackster, this thing is a beast. I think this is the fastest, one of the fastest tier 1 cars in the game. I think maybe one of the Legends cars, once you max it out, is a little faster than this guy, but this is kind of like the king of the live racing tier 1 cars. Then we got this guy right here, Angel Civic 1.5 VTEC, another one of my favorite tier 1 live racers, okay? This is just a really cool car in general. The regular Golf GTI, especially if you can get the one with 1 star, for your very first car, you should buy the Golf GTI and you should live race that guy. It's a great little live racer. It's got plus 722 on the Evo. For a tier 1 car, that's not too bad. This car does very well on live racing if you set it up right and tune it right and all that stuff. So those are my main favorite live racing cars in the game. Now, we just recently got the 2017 Nissan GTR R35. This car seems to be doing really well for me on live. Same with this Skyline. Both of these are doing great for me on live racing. So if you've got either one of these, you should have got one or maybe both of these for free, depending on how long you've been playing. And you know what? These are doing really good. I'm really enjoying both of these cars. They seem to win the majority of live races. Alright guys, the BAC Mono. This thing is amazing. Alright, this is just a live racing destroyer. Mine's got the low PP and the high Evo. And I've only got like... most of the parts on this thing are stock, guys. This is one of those weird cars where you can throw a few parts on this thing and it will just destroy everything. Alright, real quick, we'll look kind of what I got going on. Look, turbo stock, intake stock, nitrous stock, body stock. I got the tires on stage 5, transmission on stage 6, engine on stage 5. Everything else is stock. And this car just blows people up like this, okay? This is one of those weird cars where you dump a few parts into it and it's a live racing beast. Live racing beast, I'll tell you. This one's amazing. Now, somehow I got this 1970 Charger RT for free. I think when I got the, when I bought that little Ford Escort, this came with it. Now, this one's only on stage 4. Okay, this one is only on stage 4, but it was eating people up on the live racing track like nothing I've ever seen. I need to get this out and drive it. I haven't driven this since the first day I got it, but this car was tough. On stage 4 on the live racing track, man, it was doing good. Plus, it's got high Evo. You know, 600 performance points. Cool car, cool car. Now that last one, that Charger RT, that was a Fast and Furious car, just in case you didn't know. You can't normally get those until the Fast and Furious events come out. Now, the Corvette C8R. I've never driven this myself, but I know a few people that say this thing is a monster on the live track. It may or may not need a special setup, I'm not sure, but I know some people love this thing. Okay? Don't quote me on that. I've never driven it myself. I've never had a reason to dump any resources into this car, but it sounds like this one's a beast. I don't know why this is not in my favorite live racing hangar, but the Audi RS6 Avant, live racing beast. Same thing with the Lotus Avora, that for some reason isn't in my favorite hangar. Both of those are amazing cars. I'm going to have to move these after I make this video, but yeah, RS6 Avant, amazing, amazing. Live racing destroyer if you drive it right. The shift pattern's really freaking weird, but besides that, it's awesome. So I always recommend this for your very first tier 4 car. You can go into the dealership and you can buy this thing, and you know what, it's a pretty good live racing car. Obviously mine's got +1 on the Evo, so I don't have it tuned properly. I don't know why it's tuned like that. I must have really been doing something weird with it, but anyways, this car will win you some live races. It's not the best, okay? It doesn't earn as many respect points as some cars, but if you just get this for your first tier 4 car, by all means take this out and live race it until you get something better. It does very well, honestly. Alright, so the Avora GT430, this is another one of those awesome live racing cars. I gotta move this into my garage with all my favorites because this is way down, just off away from my favorite cars, and it's one of the better ones, so this should be in my garage of favorites. This one is that good. All right, awesome car. This one will beat the Tempest 1, 2 and 3 no problem if you get enough parts into it. TVR Griffith, this is another one that does really well at live racing that I need to move into my favorite garage because this is a live racing beast right here, guys. Love this thing, love this thing. So there might be a lot of other really good live racing cars in this game. There might be a lot of paid cars that are good at live that I don't have. There might be some other regular cars that I don't have that are good for live racing, but those were the ones that I live race with a lot. I've got a lot of experience driving them, and I know they're just live racing machines. Love every one of those cars I just listed off. I think there was 1 or 2 I listed that I wasn't 100% sure about, but pretty sure about, you know. But for the majority of those cars, they're pretty freaking amazing. All right, those are my suggestions for live racing monsters. If you have any of those cars, if you're needing a good live racing car, you know, and you have any of those, you might want to upgrade them and start using them because some of those are just plain amazing. All right, hope this video helps. Sorry it was so long, but now you know why I say there's no way I can go over 600 and some cars in the game because, heck, just showing you my favorites that I have took over 20 minutes. Alright, please like, subscribe, hit that little bell notification, set those things to all, and make sure you guys check out my playlist, guys. I got beginners playlist, intermediate playlist, how to drive playlist, Tempest playlist. I mean, pretty much I cover everything in the game. So if you're needing CSR2 help, check out my playlist, everybody. Alright, thanks. Catch you next time. See ya.